If you don't change your timing belt when it's due and it fails, you won't just need a new timing belt, you'll need a whole new engine. That's the timing belt fitting kit. That is a box of nuts and bolts and things, all from Landrover. 220 odd quid, about 12 quid. Big can of antifreeze and a special locking tool for the engine, which cost me 20 odd quid. So in the timing belt kit you get, of course, a timing belt, a water pump, timing belt tensioner and another pulley. I've never done a timing belt on one of these things before. I'm going to start off with the under tray. And the under tray is held on by 6 bolts. And out it comes. This cover here underneath the front grille, it's got 2 clips there, and they look like big screws, and it will come away, and you can pull that out of there. That gives you access to this bolt and to that bolt in there. There's another wee bolt, and there's another wee bolt just in there. One's out from each end, there and there, which will allow you to take this bit here off and give you a bit more room to get to the starter motor. There we go. It'll be a lot easier. Do all the work under here while the car is on its wheels, eh? Disconnect this, you just pull the wee red tab up like that, squeeze it and pull it off, that's that. Disconnect this big air pipe here, squeezing the clip, and it should pull off. There we go. Air filter cover, 4 screws. That screw there's a wee bit awkward, but I need to take the battery cover off anyway because I'll need to disconnect the battery, so I'll just pull that like that and like that, and off comes the cover. Battery cover, there we go. That's a bit easier. And off it comes, out with the air filter as well. Pulls out, yeah, look at that, just pulls out. Very good, so that gives me a lot more elbow room to get into that starter down there. Disconnect this breather here. There we go. And this clip here, this big clip, right. And pull this whole pipe here right off. Top cover now, 2 bolts there and there. Oh, just needs pulled. Yeah. That one there. Unclip these fuel hoses. And I think this was here, and that bolt. Just better not lose the clip. Right, so this pipe here has to come out. I don't know how it connects, I'll find out when I go underneath. This is the upper timing belt cover. There's a bolt there that I can reach, and I'll take out anything else that I can reach that might get in the way. I think maybe I could unclip this pipe here as well, further back. This wee bolt down here, it's positioned in just such a way that I can touch it, but I can't get my hand in such a way that I can get a hold of it and turn it with my fingers. So I'm doing it this wee tiny ratchet I've got here. It's an awkward one. Hope there's not going to be too much more of this awkwardness. Got you. Now the battery earth terminal. Lift off. There we go. To disconnect these cables from the starter motor, and I need to undo this wiring harness from the end of that housing, and that will allow me to remove the starter motor. Right, the plastic cap pings off quite easily. There it's there, there's the nut. to the main wire, and next to that's the other wire. Just 2 wires in the starter motor, both held in place with a nut. There's 3 bolts holding on the starter motor. The wires and everything are all over the top of them. There's one in there, there's another one in there, and there's one under here, and that should release the starter motor so I can remove it. The only reason I need to remove the starter motor is so that I can fit a locking device. Right, that's the starter motor out, okay, and it's held in place by 2 13mm bolts and this big 15 with a wee nut on top, and that wee nut fastens the wiring harness in position to stop it waggling about. Right, there's the starter motor aperture, and that plastic cover at the bottom of it is held on by that single 13mm bolt. So we have to take that bolt out and we can remove that plastic cover, and that allows us to get the other part of the locking tool into position. On removing this, the bolt that holds it on goes in here. There's another bolt here. I unfastened this bolt, tried to remove it, snapped the shield. Then I found this bolt buried in the grime, so I've had to go back up to Stirling and buy a new one of them, brand spanking new, and it was £4.40 something. Okay, so I think that's about as much as I can do for now under the bonnet. Put the car in axle stands, remove the front wheel and these plastic nuts there, remove them. Come off now. There we go. Now, that gives us access to the end of the crankshaft. I can now get into here. I've pulled these hoses off and there's a wee bolt there, and I think that's all that's stopping me from taking this upper cover off. Bolts out, and this wire coming down here, I've unclipped it from the pipe. It's got just a simple clip that goes round that pipe. So that's the bottom of the air duct, and I need to get, I don't know if you can see that wee bolt up under there. Need to get that off, and that'll allow me to take the air duct off. Right, so that's the air duct slackened, and it should come out, but I think it's got some other, there we go, I think it's got some other pipes and things joined onto it. Let's see if I can get it out. There we go, bit of a wriggle. Right, and out it comes. Yeah, there's electrical wires that have to be unclipped from this cover. There it is from underneath. 2 of them to unfasten that one, and one down here somewhere. Is that something else that's attached to it? It seems there's a third wiring clip right there, which I'll need to twang off with a screwdriver if I can. Oh, there we go. And now we can see the timing belt for the first time. That looks fairly worn. And it goes right down into there. Auxiliary drive belt removal. Release the tension. There we go. Off it comes. There you are. I have to rotate the engine now to top dead centre with number 1 cylinder and compression. I can't make sense of these marks, but apparently the timing tools don't fit in if you're not there, so let's see if the camshaft one fits in now. And when it's lined up properly, I should be able to push that pin through that hole and into the cylinder head. Oh, and it goes. That was easier than I thought. God, there's something easy about this job. Yeah, there it's locked. And from the other end, that's what the camshaft looks like. Locked. And this pin is right through there into the cylinder head and holding it in that position till we're finished the job. Now I need to fit this pin. It hasn't engaged with the flywheel yet, Took a lot of persuasion just to push it through that first hole. It wasn't easy. Right, so if I waggle the crankshaft at the same time as pushing the pin in, it should go in. There we go. So the crankshaft is now locked. It should be in the correct position. Now I need to apply the other tool. Now this tool has to be bolted on in place of the starter motor. And that wee tooth in there, that will go in between two teeth on the flywheel. And that will also stop the engine from rotating and hold it steady while I do the job. And there we go. Crankshaft tool bolted onto the starter motor aperture, gripping the flywheel, and down below it there you can see the pin which goes through a hole in the flywheel and a hole in the cylinder block, plus the pin in the camshaft. So the engine is now completely locked. This bolt is going to be really tight. I'm using two spanners, a big spanner and then a ring spanner, to extend the length of it, make it a bit easier. Let's see if I can get it. There it goes, it's turning. Get it with a socket now. There comes the bolt. And off comes the pulley wheel. Just like that. That's the sensor. I'm going to take that off. There's a wee bolt up there, a wee bolt there, and a bolt there. And we should be able to get this cover off. That's the sensor wheel. These holes are threaded so I can screw a couple of screws in there, and they'll hit whatever's at the other side, and they will push this wheel off. Right, it seems to be working. These screws are pushing this wheel off. Yeah, who needs a sprocket puller? Right, off at the bottom cover. There are no timing marks in the timing system at all, so I've made up my own marks. So that's my mark there. I've marked the belt. I always do this. I mark the belt so that I know there's the exact same number of teeth between there and there. Now I can let the tension go and take the belt off. Right, there's the tensioner. So if I release that nut, that should untension itself. Slacken the nut, tension's off the belt, belt's all wiggly, and it can be slid off now. So there we go. There's a timing belt out. Copy the marks onto the new belt. Right, here we go. I'd call that a close shave, look at that. See the teeth? Starting to come off. That's what happens. The teeth come off and it doesn't drive the camshaft and the whole engine gets wrecked. So I think I've caught this just in the nick of time. I can't get the tap to work on the radiator to drain it. I can't find the draining plug in the back of the engine that they talk about. I'm falling behind, so I'm just going to take the water pump off anyway. Seven bolts, and the dribbling should be starting any minute. The reason I'm changing the water pump is, and the reason why a lot of people do is because if anything goes wrong with the water pump, it means I'm going to have to do all of this all over again. So the water pump has got the same high mileage as the timing belt, so it could be near the end of its life, and for the price of it you're as well to change it, and it comes with a kit. It's just a recommended thing to do. Change the water pump and you know you don't need to worry about that or the timing belt. Look there, it's starting to dribble. Yeah, I'm even getting it to land in the basin, so I'm not making a mess. Oh, a wee bit of action now. So the last bolt comes out. Whoa, now you're talking mess, this. Oh, ho, ho. There we go. Good stuff. Old water pump, new water pump. There's the final bolt, and it's one of these Torxy type things. Out it comes, and out comes the idler pulley. Great stuff. So that's everything apart that's coming apart. It's now just a case of putting it all back together with the new stuff. Okay, we're going to crank these up to 17 newtons metric. There we go, there's that one.
This is quite interesting.
Yeah. And that one. You see, that's making the exact right tightness so that you don't strip the threads and so the water pump doesn't leak. See how it goes quick? It gets the exact tightness and then you don't tighten it any further. Brand new timing belt tensioner. A brand spanking new nut to hold it in place. And the brand spanking new idler pulley. The brand spanking new idler pulley bolt on as well at the same time. Right, so I can torque that up, but not the tensioner. This way, I think. I've got it wrong, I can take it out and put it back in the other way. There's a timing belt on. And as you can see, I've matched the marks, so it's on exactly as the old one was. And it's on all the other, around all the other wheels and things it's meant to go on. And up at the top, you can see it matches the marks. So it's got the exact same number of teeth from here down to the bottom, from the camshaft to the crankshaft. So the timing, the valve timing is exactly as it was to the tooth. Now I need to tension up the tensioner. See that wee notch there? I need to put the pointer so it goes in that wee notch. When the tensioner's in situ, the timing belt's against it sort of like that. And what you have to do is put an Allen key in here, like so, and you turn it. And when you've got a belt against the side of it, this pointer will come down here and point at that wee notch. When it gets to there, you then tighten the nut to the specified torque, and that's the tension set. Pull this wee Allen key out, this wee key thing that's been holding it. There we go. Yep, absolutely spot on. And as you can see, the belt is really tight. So that's the timing belt on, as it should be. I think I'm about ready to put this cover back on here. It'll go like, let's see. Yep, there we go. Then on with the crankshaft sensor. which fits as nicely in there. And then the sensor wheel there should go on just like that. And there we are. This wiring, fit that back onto here, keep it nice and tidy. There we go. And these pipes, I'll maybe come back here because I might need to waggle them about quite a bit at the top. One the other one, they're just falling into place. Good stuff. Now let's see if we can get this air duct in here. That's the air duct, it just slips back in there, like that, and it goes. And I'll come back to the wee screw that holds it. Right, there's a brand new bolt for the fly, the pulley wheel. And I'll stick that through the big wash up, like so. Plop that through there. And plop this onto here. There we go. Right, there we go, 70 newtons metric, plus 82 degrees. Right, I'm going to unlock the camshaft. There we go. No twang about at all. And I'll double check that the tensioner's sitting the way I want it. If I can find it. It's up there. Tensioner's sitting just right, so I'll see if I can feed the upper cover down and into where it goes. Let's see what we got here. Pipes and things to be fitted on here. There we go, that's them all on. Right. Upper timing belt cover, let's see if we can get that in. And wriggle it down and on. Not sure if I should have done this first or not. Okay, yeah. Oh, there we go. Top cover on and in place. Get the bolt on. That's tight enough. Got wires up there to clip on as well. Tighten up the Jubilee clip. Right. Right, now for the auxiliary drive belt. There we go. Auxiliary drive on. See, there's no wires anywhere that they shouldn't be. Right, let's remove the locking tool. Here comes the locking pin. On with the new starter motor aperture cover. If I can wriggle it in there. There we go. One bolt through there. Now for the starter motor. Got the start motor going in. Oh, 2 more bolts to go on. Right, reconnect the wires. That one onto here. This one onto here. And a couple of nuts to go in there. Right, that's everything done there. Starter motor in, connected all wires back onto the wee holders. All done here. That seems to be all done under here, everything done and dusted, everything in its place. Almost forgot the wee rubber cap for there. There we go. Now it's all done in there. I'll put the cables back in, the fuel lines. Right, that's everything done up at this end now. So I can put this cover here back on. Engine top cover, which just sort of pushes on and then 2 bolts. Let's see. Oh, that's it. It's on there. Right, now for this bit here, air ducting. Perfect. Okay, the air box now. You see these 2 go in there and that one goes down there. And that just slips over there. Manky old air filter. Airbox cover. There we are. The battery cover, and it goes something like this. Well, that's everything back together. You'll find that you need to top up the coolant a couple of times once you've ran it until all the air gets out, so keep an eye on it and top it up and you'll be fine. And don't pour it in too quickly because that can also give you an airlock. Right, let's hope I haven't forgotten to tighten anything. But it's time to press the big button and see what happens. Oh. Everything perfect. Right, I need to put the heaters up to hot. You know, it's roasting. And run it until it gets to temperature. You need to keep an eye on the cooling. This wee panel, these teeth will go into here, like that, and these go through there and there, and a 1/4 turn. Like so, finally, the under tray. Six bolts. There we go. Well, that was easy enough. I've saved a few £100 and a penny saved, a penny earned.